Hello everyone, Spud here, and in today's video, I want to talk to you all about Dark Souls 3. Now, I'm sure that by now all of you have heard of this game. It has received a huge amount of press for a Souls game, and really, this has done wonders for its player base. I mean, in the past, Souls games were always sold more by word of mouth than by actual advertising. It'd always be a friend coming up to you saying, hey, you need to try this game, or you'd hear about it through some online post, but I don't think I even heard about Dark Souls 2 or even, the first Prepare to Die edition through actual announcements or actual media. I always heard about it either through just Steam popping it up or having a friend come and tell me about the game. And that's what sold those games to a lot of people, I think. For Dark Souls 3, that's not the case. They've been building this hype train as far as it can go, and while some would argue that this might not be such a good thing, I would argue the opposite, because it has done wonders for this game's player base. Right now, there is so much traffic passing through the Souls universe that it is incredible. You got invasions going on left and right. You have cooperation wherever you want it. You have a lot of fun stuff going on with the player community, and I never got to experience this in a previous Souls game. I was always late to the party. I got Dark Souls 2 on PS4 back in 2014, and I got Dark Souls 1 Prepare to Die on PC back in 2015. So I definitely didn't really get in on these games during the prime of their existence. So I always sort of missed out on the PvP and PvE cooperation. That's not the case, because I got in on the second week of launch for this game, and I have been enjoying the hell out of it. It is honestly probably one of my, if not my favorite game I have right now. It's definitely my Game of the Year choice as of right now. Even with its technical issues, I do play on PC, and I have experienced frame rate drops where I really shouldn't have. I have a pretty damn good PC, and it's kind of strange to see me drop down as low as 40 FPS in certain areas that are like nothing special. Like, it's within Firelink, there's one area on the bridge to the blacksmith where I'll just randomly drop to 40 FPS if I look in one direction, and if I just turn literally 1 degree to my right, I'll be back at 60. So I don't know what that's all about. But regardless of all of that, the gameplay and everything, the boss design, the really, really cool layered upon itself map design and sort of interweaving maze-like maps are really awesome. All the references to the first two games are pretty cool. I got invaded by Lucatiel. I mean, okay, if you guys don't know Lucatiel from the second game, I won't spoil it, but it was like, that just hit me right in the feels when I was walking through and I saw that she'd invaded me. I didn't want to fight her. I didn't. I tried so hard to not actually fight her. But, yeah, I've just been having so much fun with this game, and really, it's just, I also got to experience the PvP and the PvE of this game. And I gotta say, it is so tense when you invade someone, you go and you see a 4-person party, and it's just little old you. And what I wanted to talk about, actually, was how this game sort of done PvP really well, because I'm not sure if this was in the previous games, I never found it, but there's a soapstone you can use to actually set down a PvP symbol. And those first 2 clips you were watching, I was actually summoning people into my world for the pure purpose of fighting them. I'm going to call them summon duels from now on. But these summon duels were actually a really good way for me to actually build up and test out a viable sort of weapon loadout for PvP. Now, I first tried out the Astora's Great Sword and a Light Shield, and ended up liking my upgraded Halberd and Great Shield instead, because it gave me a lot of poise and a lot of reach, and it has a pretty fast little poke, which was able to stagger people pretty nicely. And this is what I love about the invasion stuff. So, right now, when you invade, you're almost always put at a disadvantage. That's just sort of how it works. You'll almost always be thrown into a lobby that has at least 2 human players in them. And while that seems unfair, especially because of how hardcore this combat can be, invaders aren't affected by the environment as long as a host doesn't use a Seed of Tree Giants. And since that item is pretty rare, you don't see it used all that often. This really allows the invader to use the environment and the monsters to their advantage. In this fight, I knew this area well, so I drew them into this pit of maggot creatures, which once they're hit once by these creatures, it puts a stacking bleeding effect on them, which will slowly drain their health in pretty large chunks once the bar fills up. And I'm able to use this to continuously weaken them until I have the upper hand. And that's what I love, that type of interaction, the type of playing, of knowing the field of battle you're in and using it to your advantage. I mean, I have never had an experience like that in another game. Not to mention that having PvP based on melee combat is also just really cool. Not a lot of games go that route. I mean, the only other sort of medieval PvP game I've even played is Chivalry. And so, I'm pretty hyped about this. And I gotta say, guys, if you're on the verge about buying this game, or you're even mildly interested, but you think it's not for you, the Souls games aren't for you, but you've never actually played one, this will probably be the game to pick up. It's got the most refined movement and fighting. It's got everything sort of smoother and more fluid in this game. It's a little bit more forgiving in its combat, but also it's so damn satisfying. They get just about everything right, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, I've been really enjoying PvP. I might make more Dark Souls content if you guys want me to. I don't know, it's not really my channel's thing, but if you guys are interested in more content, I would definitely love to do some more. Anyways, guys, if you watched, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all on the next video. Bye-bye.